Metal castings are in every aspect of our lives. They help us to move, to plant and irrigate our crops, to bring water to our homes and take wastewater away. They help us to honour the past and generate our energy needs for the future. Metal castings truly are
everywhere!
But how are castings made? The Australian Foundry Institute, Foundry in a Box, will introduce you to the amazing world of metal casting and show you one way of making castings. You'll learn metal casting terminology, patterns, draft angles, contraction, fluid flow, solidification simulation, 3D printing, phase diagram, cope, drag, downsprue, runner system, cores. Are you confused yet?
Let's get started. Using Foundry in a Box, you'll produce a sand mould, prepare and pour molten metal, then recover the casting that you've produced.
Start by applying a stripping agent or powder onto the surface of the pattern. This helps later when you separate the mould from the pattern. Place the cope or top mould box onto the locating pins on the pattern plate. Fit the downsprue peg. Next, sieve facing sand onto the pattern and loosely fill the mould box with moulding sand.
Using the hand tool, gently compact the loose sand. Then overfill the mould flask with sand. Use two hands and the flat face of the trowel to fully compact the sand. Put your weight into it. Then use the straight edge of the trowel to level off the excess sand to the mould flask edge.
Now, grab the top of the downsprue with 2 fingers. Gently twist it and then lift the downsprue out. Again, use the straight edge of the trowel to remove the final bit of excess sand. Return the excess sand into the moulding sand container. Remember, we can recycle everything in the metal casting process.
Now for the big reveal. Grasp the cope mould flask with one hand, hold the pattern plate with the other, and lift the mould clear of the pattern plate pins. As you do this, rotate the mould so that you can see the result. Don't touch the sand surface, it's very soft and easily damaged.
So, did you make a good mould? If you did, awesome. If not, no problem. Just knock out the mould into the sand container and start again. See, no waste in the metal casting industry.
With the cope mould made, we now need to make the drag mould. Place the drag mould flask, flange up on a backing board. Overfill with moulding sand. Then complete an initial compaction with the handheld ramming tool.
Overfill again and finalise the compaction using both hands on the flat side of the trowel. Use the straight edge of the trowel again to scrape off the excess sand, and your mould halves are now ready to assemble.
Now to assemble the mould. Pick up the cope mould by the flanged edges of the mould flask. Rotate it to face down and gently place it onto the face of the drag mould. Use a clamp on each of the 2 long sides to clamp the 2 halves together. Time for a walk? No, not yet. We need to prepare and pour the metal. Tin melts at 230 degrees Celsius, so it takes next to no time to melt the tin in the pouring ladle on an induction heating plate.
Carefully take the ladle of molten tin and pour the metal into your mould. Be sure you have all of your personal protective equipment on and take care. Place the pouring ladle back onto the induction heating plate and then pat yourself on the back for producing your very first casting.
The job's not done yet though. You still need to recover your casting from the mould. Not too quick though. we need to wait for the metal to cool. Okay, let's see what you've got. Remove the mould clamps, then hold the mould over the moulding sand container. Use your thumbs to push the whole package out of the mould flasks and into the moulding sand container. Remember, we recycle all of our sand.
Remove your casting and brush off any excess sand. Use the tin snips to remove the runner system from the casting at the ingate. Use the metal file to remove any sharp edges as you're admiring your wonderful creation.
Now that we've introduced the wonderful world of metal casting to you, can you see yourself being a moulder, pattern maker, or maybe a metallurgical researcher?
We can help your dreams come true. Contact the Australian Foundry Institute today and begin your journey into the metal casting industry. Metal casting really is a career choice for makers, creators, and innovators.